ambassadors, community leaders, and representatives. Hi everyone, my name is Anomo Ruth Onmbayugh. I'm originally from Nigeria, but I've lived in Australia for about 3 years. And I'm a food technologist. I currently work in the flavor industry, which basically means some days I smell like strawberries, some days I smell like fish. But most importantly, I ensure that your favorite snacks don't taste like regret. Nigeria is well known for its rich food, vibrant music, and yes, solid educational system, which is something I've had a few surprising conversations about since moving here. When I moved to Australia, I started out in Sydney and then I moved to Melbourne. I was living in Camberwell, and that was the first time I realized I was different. I was going to the grocery store and a group of guys passing in their car, pressing their horn loudly, started yelling from their car, F word, N word, and my heart started racing. I was a bit confused because that has never happened to me before. But it was in that moment I realized I was indeed different and people saw me differently. In every food company I've worked in Australia, I've always been the only Black food technologist. And it's like a badge no one asks for. The questions follow me everywhere. So do you have universities in Nigeria? Is Nigeria dangerous? These things have become part of my morning meetings. But honestly, it's not always been easy. There are moments when I feel like I'm walking on a tightrope. I'm balancing between doing my job and explaining my existence. And when someone asks me, how come you speak English so well? Sometimes I want to say, well, colonial history has a long stuff to do with it. But things changed when I moved to Ballarat. And Ballarat has been the first place I've felt at home in Australia. And when I started working at a flavor manufacturing company here, I genuinely felt valued, not just for ticking a diversity box, but because I was part of a team and my contributions mattered. I owe a lot to two people, my colleagues, Andrea and my manager, Adrian. They both didn't just work with me, they made me feel like I belonged. Adrian trusted me with opportunities and encouraged my growth, while Andrea was the kind of teammate who made sure I felt included. My wish for everyone here is that they find their own Adrian and Andrea. Of course, it hasn't always been smooth sailing. There were moments where I felt invincible, like when a teammate laughed at my pronunciation instead of just asking me to repeat myself. But instead of brushing it off, I decided to speak up and I shared how I felt, to always be the only one. And to my surprise, he listened. The small shift they made after that conversation made a big difference. Outside work, I also found belonging through my local church in Ballarat here, York Street. It's been a space where I'm not the only one, I'm just another person with shared values. It gave me roots and a sense of home. Back home in Nigeria, diversity wasn't something we actively thought about. We mostly looked the same, shared the same values, the same culture. But here I've learned that diversity is about how we build bridges and make room for others. And truthfully, most of what I knew about other cultures growing up came from Bollywood movies, Bruce Lee movies, and Hollywood blockbusters. But living here has been like stepping into a real life version of these stories, more complex, sometimes challenging, but full of learning. So what does inclusion mean to me? It's not about erasing differences, it's about welcoming them. It's about being the only Black food technologist, but still getting invited to trivia night and knowing it's because people want me to be there. It's about hosting a Nigerian food tasting for my coworkers and seeing their excitement in wanting to try something new. My hope is that workplaces and communities, especially here in Ballarat, keep creating spaces where everyone feels like they belong. Because belonging isn't about blending in, it's about being accepted as who you are. Thank you for letting me share my story. And if anyone is keen to try Nigerian dishes, I'll be hosting a potluck during Easter. Thank you.
Thank you.